little bit more realistic with myself, and I was like, okay, I won't apply to just 2 companies. I'll apply to 80. So that's exactly what I did. I applied to not 8, not 18, but 80 companies. 80. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Hayles, and this is Hayles Consulting. Hayles Consulting is dedicated to helping you gain clarity in your career and also here to help you grow your career and professional brand. In this video, I'm going to take you on a journey so that you can learn more about my personal career path. As a career coach, I think there is nothing more important than being transparent, so I will take you through my career starting from college to present day. Let's get started. So before college, I had my heart dead set on being a plastic surgeon, and I said to myself, once I graduate from this place, no one's stopping me. I'm gonna be the next Dr. Miami. No one's stopping me. I walk into my first biology class, super excited. I walk out and I say, I think I'm more suited for the business field. So I went and I quickly changed my major to business management and computer information systems with the idea that I don't necessarily know what I want to do yet, but I know that a business degree is going to help me regardless. I had this idea in my mind that because I was really good at anatomy in high school, somehow, I was going to be a really great plastic surgeon and have the interest to go to school for 10 years in order to do that. And I think that's really a lesson to learn in your career pretty early, is to understand that just because something is in interest to you for the short term does not mean that you will necessarily be interested in it for the long term. So really think about your interest before you put your all into something. So after declaring my major as a business management student, I got settled into my business classes, which I was really excited about. And then I started hearing about this thing called internships. I was like, internship, you say? I started doing more research, and then I created this little calculation in my head, and I was like, this internship thing seems like wherever I intern, it could potentially turn into a job. Okay. So that means I should probably take this really seriously, because wherever I end up interning my junior year is probably where I'm gonna end up working once I graduate from this place. So naturally, I put my all into finding an internship. So naturally, my mind just started racing with like, oh my god, I need to figure out where I'm gonna intern because that's where my job is gonna be. So I started saying to myself, I wanna work in fashion. No, but I wanna work in tech too. Oh my god, Chanel and Google. I want to work at Chanel and I want to work at Google. That's it. Then I quickly realized that it's probably not in your best interest to only apply to 2 places. So started getting a little bit more realistic with myself, and I was like, okay, I won't apply to just 2 companies. I'll apply to 80. So that's exactly what I did. I applied to not 8, not 18, but 80 companies. 80. And as we all know, finding an internship or a job is very much a numbers game, but it's also a reality game. And the reality of the situation is, as a freshman in college, it's pretty difficult to get an internship at a big company like Chanel or Google. So, what do you think happened? Those 80 companies, all 80 of them said, girl, no, not this summer, sis. Maybe next summer. So I was devastated, heartbroken and devastated. But that heartbreak didn't last for very long, because I was like, you know what? I am not about to spend this summer back in my parents' house just chilling, doing nothing. I'm gonna find a job, because I'm not playing. So what does any college student in between their freshman and sophomore year do to find a job? Go to the mall. So I marched over to the mall, and I'm just, dropping my applications off at every single store and restaurant and wherever. And they were like, okay, yeah, we love your application, but you're like kind of overqualified to work here. And I was like, yeah, I get what you're saying, but my bank account isn't, right? It's at 0. So help a sister out and please give me a job, something, like, I need something. So like I get, and so this one guy at Bertucci, shout out to Charles, he's the first person to give me my first job as a hostess at Bertucci. I had to get a job at Shoe Depot, which was like the shoe department store in the mall, and then a job at Victoria's Secret. So that summer, because of the fact that I didn't get any of the 80 internships that I applied to, I ended up working 3 jobs, 2 in retail, 1 in a restaurant. Although I didn't necessarily get the internship of my dreams that summer, I knew that if I had experience added on my resume, it would give me a leg up that next round or that next year. So that's exactly what I did, and I definitely had a rough summer having 3 jobs, but it paid off for me. So now I'm back in school after my summer of being a hard-working Caribbean woman, and I'm like, okay, back to this whole internship search thing because it's getting real now. So I didn't apply to 80 internships this time, but I applied to 70. 70. Yeah, 70, not 17, not 7, 70. But what made this search a little bit different was I said to myself, Brittany, I know you're really interested in fashion and you love it and all that good stuff, but it's a really tough industry. You're also interested in tech and engineering. How about you just focus on that? Because we all know that once you start to focus your job search and your career search, you actually start seeing results, whether it's getting interviews back or calls back, because you're now focusing your mind on one specific area, tailoring your resume to that area, and trying to really shine in that specific industry. So after a few weeks or so, months, I can't really remember, I want to say it's a few months of applying, I heard back from one place. And that one place was Rolls-Royce. I looked at my email and I was like, excuse me? Now, you may be asking yourself, Brittany, how did you go from working in those 3 retail jobs to now getting an internship at Rolls-Royce? And let me tell you the resume work that I did. I handed in my application to Rolls-Royce. My resume sounded like, not only did I work at Victoria's Secret and Bertucci's and Shoe Depot, I literally made my resume sound like my impact and my value. If I left, the whole store would come crashing down. My hard work paid off and was shown in my resume in a very detailed manner. And then somebody at Rolls-Royce, some recruiter, saw my resume, decided to actually read through it, because we all know recruiters don't even read through half of the resumes they get. So you have to really catch their eye. They were caught, like my resume really caught their attention because it was impactful, and they decided to give me an interview. So after a 2-day interview, my recruiter was like, girl, you killed it. And you also got the internship. And I was so excited. So moved out there to be a government compliance and purchasing intern at Rolls-Royce. So what this internship really taught me about myself was that supply chain management is not something that I'm interested in. It's cool and it's awesome to learn about, and the foundation of any manufacturing company or engineering company is their management of their supply chain, but it wasn't for me. And what I found out that I was really good at was client management and relationship management, hence why I'm a career coach now. So now I'm back on the college campus after my awesome internship in Indiana. But when I got back on campus, something was in the air, and that something was Google. And the reason why that something was in the air called Google was because a recruiter had reached out to the career center at my college saying, hey, we're looking for applicants for our Google Bold internship program. Send over your resumes. So everyone was, everyone's going crazy. Oh my God, gotta get my resume. But me, being obsessed with resumes, I already have mine done, okay? So this was like the perfect opportunity for me. So literally the day after they sent out an email like, hey, Google recruiter is looking for resumes, send yours over. I was like, there you go. I went ahead and submitted my resume to our career center at school. I applied online because you had to do both. So me being the super secure person that I am, even though this is a company that I really wanted to work for, I said to myself, it is just completely unrealistic for me to put all my eggs in one basket. Let me continue to apply. So me, naturally, as you can see, the theme throughout this video is me continuing to like apply to a million internships. So I did that again. But this time I applied to 60 because I narrowed down my focus even more to the top 60 companies that I really, really wanted to work for. And it was crazy because about 4 or 5 weeks later, I got this little notification popped up in the corner of my screen, and it was from Google, and it said, "We want to interview you." And I was freaking out, like, what? And then so I had 2 back-to-back phone interviews, and it was great. It went really well, and a few days later, they emailed me and they're like, "You got the internship, come on over." And I was super excited because, as I said before, early on in my college career, I knew that wherever I ended up interning, if I did really well, I would probably work there. So I started my internship, which specifically is the bold internship at Google, and I was a sales intern. And if I'm being honest, it was the hardest thing I had ever done in my life up to that point. But as challenging as it was, as I said earlier in this chat, I knew that wherever I interned, if I performed well, it would be my full-time job. And this was my dream company. So I was like, get it together, girl. I know this is challenging, but you have to do this. And that's exactly what I did. I performed really well, and they sent me an email when I got back onto college campus in the fall of 2016. It was like, "You got the job. You're going to work at Google when you graduate." I was so happy because, as I said to you before, like, I had manifested this for myself. I said, wherever I intern, I'm gonna work. So now I am living in San Francisco, living it up. And I'm working at Google full-time as a Google AdWords account strategist, very similar to what I was doing as an intern. But so you can say I'm a little bit of an AdWords expert. No, not a little bit, like I am, because you can't do that job without being an AdWords expert. So I did that for a year. I'm so thankful that I had being an AdWords account strategist as a pit stop in my career, because what it did was really teach me more about the importance of digital marketing. So after a year of doing that, I realized that I absolutely love relationship management and I love client management. But instead of businesses, I want to try this with another group of individuals. I was on LinkedIn one day, and one of my friends who had met in the internship at Google had gotten a new position as a intern staffing specialist. And I was like, what's that? So I talked to her about it, and after a conversation, I realized that her job was very much about relationship and client management, but instead of it being similar to my role, where I'm working with business owners, she's now working with interns, students. And I was like, maybe this is an interesting next move for me. So, luckily enough, her team was hiring, right? And as I said before, networking is going to be a huge part of my professional career, as you're going to see here. She was somebody that I connected with and created a relationship with during my internship, who then was on a team that I was interested in, and lo and behold, her team is now hiring. I'm very much interested in the position that they're doing. I applied, and I got the job. So now I'm on this team, and my job is being an intern staffing specialist, which is basically a fancy way of saying a sourcer or a recruiter. I was responsible for not only finding interns, but also getting them hired. And something I learned in this position specifically was that being organized is going to help you in your personal life and also in your professional life, because as I said before, I was speaking to hundreds of students, and the only way to keep track of speaking with that many people and be really good at managing that relationship is to be organized. So now I'm a year into this position, and I started saying to myself, again, I love relationship management, I love client management, I love consulting, and I did this as an AdWords account strategist, and I did this as an intern staffing specialist. Now, where I'm at in my career is that I love this skill set but I would love to take it from managing relationships with 200 to 300 people down to less than 50, maybe even closer to 10. So I had caught up with one of my friends over video chat, who I had actually met while I was an Adwords account strategist, because she was one as well and we were on the same team. And she told me that she's working as an administrative business partner at Google in the creative lab in New York City. Cool. And she explained to me what the career was and that she works with executives and she's managing the relationships with them. But instead of doing this with like 100 people, which is what we used to do on our old team, she's now doing this with like 4 or 5 people. About a week later, I was looking at job opportunities in the job description that she was talking about, administrative business partner, and I found that her team specifically was hiring. So I applied, I interviewed, I think I had like 6 interviews with different people on the team, and I got the job. So I packed my stuff up in my apartment in San Francisco and I moved out here to New York literally within weeks time. I didn't really have that much time to move, and now I've been living here in New York and working in the Google New York City office for almost a year now as an administrative business partner in the creative lab in New York City. And so now what I do at Google as an administrative business partner is partner with VPs and directors at Google to manage their professional daily lives. Because a huge portion of my job is time management, what I've really learned in this job is that if you manage your time well, the world is yours. And another thing I'm super grateful for in this job is that a lot of people get really nervous around executives or people in C-suite or VPs, and I've learned, because I work with them, they're humans. There are some VPs, some directors who have had a conversation about puppies with for 30 minutes. Like, human beings. And I think that's a really great skill and a really great experience to have, especially when you're trying to build relationships with and manage and consult with people in C-suite levels or executives. So now you know everything there is to know about my career. I do want to drive home the fact that I am a career consultant. And if after watching this video you feel inspired, or you have questions, or you're like, oh my God, I need to get my resume together, or I want to have a mock interview, or I need to have a career consultation, everything is linked down below. And don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and also turn on the notifications so that you can be notified every time a video is posted on this channel. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.